Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's Mystic Moonstone Angel card reading. The duration for the reading this week is the 8th through to the 14th. I nearly forgot. Okay, let's have a look and see what the cards have in store for us this week. We have Archangel Ragu and Conflict Resolution. I think that card comes up a lot, I notice, but I think the reason for it is we all have so much conflict in our lives. You know, it's really hard to get through a day, let alone a week, without some kind of conflict, whether it's external conflict with things going on around us, with other people, or whether it's internal. I find most of my battles tend to be internal. So when that card comes up, always look both ways. You know, don't just think about relationships, even though he is the angel of relationships, think about the relationship you have with yourself as well. Okay, we have the angel of support. The universe has heard your silent call for help. So again, you know, that is angelic reassurance that they are with you, they are helping you. Whether it is internal or external, you will receive the help that you're asking for, the support that you're asking for. And we get to midweek and we have Archangel Jeremiah, and it's the clarity card. Now when Archangel Jeremiah comes in, there's normally a situation that's been ongoing, something that's been going on for a while, something you need to look back upon in order to get the answers you need, maybe to move something forward. With clarity, obviously you've been asking for answers about something, you've been trying to find out something, so that you know what to do next, so that you know what plans need to be set in motion, if something needs to be changed, you know, anything that you can do to help yourself, okay, but you need that clarity first. Sometimes clarity comes in almost as a bit of a nudge, you know, especially if you get stuck in a situation and then you get a nudge to kind of just move out of that situation into something that actually serves a purpose. Or maybe the nudge is just to appreciate where you are. You know, we don't always have to be constantly moving and constantly changing, and that's something that I noticed with spirituality. We're always talking about change, and you know, if you're always spending your life thinking about changing, you're not really going to spend your life in the moment appreciating what you have. And sometimes it's only after something's gone that you realise what you had was rather special. Okay, so I just really feel that sometimes, yes, it's important to strive to move forward, to be the best you can, to reach your potential, but it's also important to live in the moment and to appreciate what you have now. Okay, we have the angel of clearing. Your time of waiting and confusion will soon be over. Now that goes so lovely with the clarity card. So answers are flowing in midweek. Watch out for what those answers are, and be prepared to listen to them. You know, quite often what I see is people get answers. They get the clarity they're asking for, and they still do nothing. They just kind of think, okay, yeah, all right, now I know. And then the next week they ask, you know, well, why didn't I achieve what I wanted, or why did nothing change, or why was I still not happy? And it's because they're not listening to the answers when they come in. You know, sometimes those answers aren't easy to listen to, but they still have to be heard. Okay. And we have the card of Archangel Zadkiel and the card of forgiveness. Again, that card very much mirrors the first. We always think about forgiveness as in, who are we meant to forgive? Now, the person I wrong the most is myself. And the person I probably should forgive the most is myself. Because I really am my own self-worst critic, honestly. And when I think about what I put myself through, and I think about how hard I judge myself, and just how nasty I am on myself, I would never treat another person like I treat myself. And I'm sure a lot of you are the same. Okay, so with the forgiveness card, yes, it may be that the clarity comes in and you realise that maybe you've judged somebody a little bit too harshly, maybe you've jumped to conclusions with regards to a situation. You know, these cards, they resonate for different people in different situations. Or it may be the clarity comes in that perhaps you weren't as bad as you thought you were, or Perhaps you've judged yourself a little bit too harshly and you need to forgive yourself. So that card, both those first and that last card, they both kind of mirror each other in that, yes, they could be external, but they could also be internal. And quite often we tend to look at other people and not look at ourselves when it's something positive. You know, we'll say somebody else looks beautiful, but we'll never look in the mirror and go, wow, you look beautiful. We'll look in the mirror and go, wow, you look a mess. But we'll never ever give ourselves that compliment. And it's the same with kindness. It's the same with all those positives. We'll give them to others. We'll say, oh, isn't she a lovely person? Isn't he kind? How often do you say, oh, aren't I a lovely person? Aren't I kind? You know, so sometimes we have to look at what we're giving ourselves. We're really quick to say, I'm such a bad person. I'm so evil. We're very, very quick to say things like that. You know, even if it's in jest, we do. We do say those things every day, but how often do we say something positive? Just think about that. Oop, I've got two cards stuck together. Mel's not going to like that, but they are literally on. Okay, one's upside down. Oh, that's interesting. I don't normally say, well, if a card's upside down, they're not tarot, so I don't really go negative, positive with what way round now. Okay, but for some reason I felt that there was something in that being upside down today, so I'm going really against myself here. Now, the cards I have is creativity and intuition. And the intuition was the one that was upside down. So if you take that by the way of tarot, where they say, you know, an upside down card is a negative card, really. I don't feel any of the angel cards are negative, so that's why I don't place that. But what I would say is maybe what we were saying, or what I was saying about sometimes we get answers and we don't act on them. Or sometimes those answers come in the way of intuition. And perhaps the upside down is my guides, my angels, you know, saying that maybe we're not listening to our intuition enough. And that could be a message for someone out there. Okay. Creativity speaks for itself. Okay. The creativity is about getting back in touch with your sacral chakra, getting back in touch with your own creative flair. Now, that may be to heal a relationship, because we've been talking about forgiveness. It may be to find a creative way of doing something for yourself. Remember, this can be about yourself, not just about others. Okay, creativity can come in so many different forms. It may be that it's time for you to start writing a journal, start writing your thoughts down, and then you may realise just how harsh and unforgiving you have been on yourself. Okay, it may be that you need to be creative in writing a letter to someone, communicating with someone, letting them know that maybe you haven't treated them right and it's time, you know, for you to forgive them. Maybe they haven't treated you right, but still you don't want to give them that power of hating them, that power of being angry, and you want to take back that power. And sometimes forgiving someone can be so liberating. Doesn't mean because you forgive them, you forget. And it doesn't mean because you've forgiven them that you give away your power. No. Sometimes you can forgive someone and just say, you know, you're not worth the grief. You're not worth the grief. I forgive you. You'll have to make account for your actions with a much higher body than me, you know. I mean, at the end of the day, we all will have to stand in judgment in some way or another. No matter what your belief is, there is always that weighing. Okay, whether you know you believe in the day of judgment, whether you believe in reincarnation, you know there is always a reckoning. Okay, even if it's just through life, you know what you give out, you get back. So if someone's given out something really bad to you, you know what they're going to get back. So you know sometimes when we don't forgive someone, all we're doing is kind of taking our own power and feeding a fire inside us that really robs us of the ability to have joy in our lives from other people, from other situations. So sometimes, even though forgiveness is the hardest thing, it's the most liberating of things, if you can find it in yourself to do. Okay, so Mel's going to love me because he's got two cards there. But intuition, please listen to your intuition, listen to those answers coming in. Okay, quick recap. We have Archangel Ragu at the beginning, and it's the conflict resolution card. Then we go on to the Angel of Support. The universe has heard your silent call for help, so help with that conflict. That's where those two go together. Archangel Jeremiah, clarity. Archangel Jeremiah, as I said, it could be something that's been ongoing, or it could be something to do with the past that's coming back and answers coming in. The Angel of Clearing, your time of waiting and confusion will soon be over. Again, two cards that go together perfectly, because what that is saying is the clarity's coming in. You've been waiting for it for a while, so they're kind of confirming each other there. Then we have Archangel Zadkiel. Archangel Zadkiel is the angel of emotional healing. And I feel the two cards that came out together are almost kind of giving you signposts, really, of how to bring about that kind of emotional healing. One, you need to practice forgiveness, whether it's to others or yourself. Two, be creative with it. Be creative in changing your life, okay? Let the creativity flow. And creativity, it can cover so many things. It can be writing, it can be drawing, it can just be using your imagination to spice up a relationship or something, right? Be creative. You know, the sacral chakra is all about sensual pleasure, it's all about self-identity, it's about identifying with yourself, knowing what brings passion into your life and not being afraid to reach for it. Okay, and the card that came upside down was the intuition, which could mean that your intuition is a little bit upside down at the moment because you're not listening to it. Because, you know, intuition is one of those things, the more you push it and push it away, the harder it is to hear it when you need to. Okay, and your intuition, I feel you need to practice listening to it. You need to acknowledge when you've been right with your intuition. Acknowledge that you've got it right. Acknowledge that you've listened to it. Okay, and the more you do that, the more intuition will just flow in until in the end it's second nature and you're not questioning it all the time. Okay, so remember that, and remember to listen to your intuition, and remember to apply it. Okay, I think I've got to the end of that, and I've got to the end of it without coughing or sneezing or anything, so I'm quite happy. I'm not going to push my luck any further, so I'm going to wish you all well. Love and light to you all, and thank you for listening to this week's reading. Bye.